As ICE has been terrorizing our local communities and neighborhoods and assaulting and murdering suburban women, we have some new footage here that is on a different level of disturbing. Check this out.
Escribí en el grupo.
Uy, agarraron a alguien. Por...
¿Qué? ¿Por qué?
Agarraron a alguien, llevan a alguien.
¿Cierto? No, pero
sí.
No.
Sí, porque el guardia se bajó, él se bajó con él.
Here we can see that the alleged victim's hands are bound, handcuffed in the front. She approaches the porta potty and proceeds to open the door while the ICE agent allegedly falls on his ass, which is pretty typical of ICE agents to do. And then he proceeds to follow her and close the door behind them. So both people in a single stall porta potty with another person in the vehicle. Again, this is appears to be an unmarked vehicle, which is another signature of ICE, in the vehicle covering for them. So at least 3 people in total aware of the situation, in addition to the people filming. So again, quite disturbing footage we're seeing here, Mike. I mean, I don't think we can be too shocked about what we're seeing, given the fact that ICE agents are masked. They are unidentifiable. They allegedly have absolute immunity. They're essentially a secret police force, and they apparently have more rights and say than local law enforcement does. So they are high on their own supply of power. And what we're seeing here, I don't know, is there any justification for what we just saw in that video? Is there any good reason that an alleged ICE agent would be dragging a handcuffed victim into a porta potty stall and closing the door behind them? What's going on here?
So yeah, I can't see any good reason for it, but I do know that ICE has a long history of sexual abuse, not just within the Trump administration, but this also goes back to under Biden, under Trump's first term, and even under Obama's term. So law enforcement abusing their power and committing sexual assault is unfortunately not even new. This happens all the time with normal police officers as well. So the difference there, though, is that usually when that happens with a normal officer, in most cases, it's not directly out in the open like this. But those officers have names, they have badge numbers, they have faces. With ICE, we don't see that. And now with JD Vance declaring that they have absolute immunity, like you mentioned, Emmanuel, I think definitely paints this as something that we could see more of this in the future, because without any level of accountability, why would they ever stop? What would they, if this is how they behave when they have cameras on them? I mean, granted, this guy didn't know he had a camera on him, but my point is, it's just like, in general, there's a lot of people filming ICE constantly. And if this is how they behave in the public eye, we can only imagine what goes on at these facilities where there are no cameras and things like that. So yeah, I think the abuse of power is definitely kind of a staple. It's something that's always needed to be monitored and investigated. So I hope to see investigations come from this particular incident. I hope that somehow these 2 guys can be held accountable, because the guy in the car, even if he's like, not down with it, if he doesn't want to commit the act, he still did nothing while this guy does. So this is also a problem with, the whole, there's good cops and there's bad cops, but the good cops often, not always, some of them actually stand up and, punish the bad cops on site or whatever, or in reports to internal affairs. But in general, a lot of cops that are good people just stand by and do nothing while bad cops do their thing. So I think this is just another instance of that, and hopefully it gets investigated. We'll have to see.
I hope so too. I just don't know how it will be, given the fact that we can't even identify these gentlemen. Like you said, with police officers that are unmasked, they're held to a different standard. They actually have to do things with morality. And it's because they are monitored, they are identifiable, and a lot of them have body cams attached to them. I am not sure what the rationale is not requiring ICE to have body cams. I feel like that is something that like is a no-brainer. Why the hell what's a good reason for them not to have body cams so they can commit crimes? Not a good reason to me. If there's something that we can do from a legal standpoint, what Congress should do, I would hope, is to at least make that a mandate. At least require them to wear body cams. I mean, if we're going to allow the secret police to roam our streets, and now they're going door to door in Minnesota, harassing people in neighborhoods, harassing suburban moms in their SUVs, killing them, shooting them in the face 3 times, at the very least, we should be able to see from their point of view what's going on. I mean, is that too much to ask? I think not. I mean, again, we went through this 5 years ago during the George Floyd protests. There was a big discussion, I would say, nationally about body cams. And here it comes right back again. Because, one of the things that we noticed from that shooting of Renee Good was the ICE agent that shot her to death also was filming himself with his other hand holding up a cell phone. Don't you think that would impede their law enforcement operation, having to hold a cell phone? Why not have a body cam that's always on, always recording? And it's one less thing for the agent to worry about, and one more thing for the public to be reassured that that is being done. And another thing I've heard just from a psychological perspective is if you know that you're being recorded, you are more likely to do moral things and good things. If you know that you are secretive and no one can see you, you're more likely to do bad things. It's just a normal basic psychology thing. We need our law enforcement to know that they're being monitored, in my opinion.